Dog fans, it's time to hunker down. He's Jake Trash Panda Skinner. We're going to work on that. We have
Yeah.
some other options. I think you've outgrown that. I think we're gonna.
Yeah, I think so.
That's not me taking it away from you either. We've gotten
Yeah.
some fan suggestions. Some of them I can't read. Some of them I had to remind them that you do not need their phone number, and I will stop it at that because I'm not going to get too much further into it. But and I'm Jeremy the Impact York, and this is almost awkward. So we're gonna get right into talking about the dogs, right, Jake?
Yeah, gonna get right into it. It was a clean, old-fashioned vanilla is what we're gonna call this game.
Okay, I think I could
But
agree with that.
yeah, I know you were talking a minute ago that you did call it right that Tech did play Georgia, took closer.
Now I was gonna give you
Um,
guys credit. On the up with the down, which was a one-off at the moment. That's the only one this season we are doing. Not saying we won't do more. We might do a big conglomerate show, but it might be called something different. I don't know. But you said that this would probably be a very vanilla, basic game. So kudos to you on that. You pat yourself on the back. I can't really. I can almost do it from here.
yeah,
John said he thought it could be kind of close. I think he said like 10 or 12 points or something. So okay, I'll give him a little bit of credit there. It was
yeah,
it was almost right at 10. And like you said, one of us said Tech is probably going to play this game closer to Georgia than Tennessee did. And so in a way, last time I checked, we all picked Georgia. We all had a good prediction on it. We all went 3-0.
yeah, yeah. I mean, this was a Kirby again, another Kirby Smart game where we didn't have some of our best players up there. This was a next man up kind of game.
Oh, you know who
We
I'm
know
going to look
good
for now.
Chaz.
Where is
He had
he?
one tackle.
Oh, Chaz is on the board.
He got one tackle, but we'll go ahead and start with the defense on this one before I get
Yeah.
too far. But before I was about to say is Kirby actually said this in the press conference. He said that you've got to. This was the opening win over UT Martin.
Mm-hmm.
He basically said that you've got to make your team realize that you can be better. I'm paraphrasing. Not saying they will be. We just got to get better. And then he said everybody just thinks you're going to walk out there, roll over teams, and it should be 40-0 by half. But then it's not. You get tight. Guys worried. I'm over that. I'm past the days. I want to grow and get better. That's Kirby saying he treats teams like it's practice games.
Yeah.
Which is a good way to look at that. And it's what somebody said and I sent it to you in I gotta look this up because now I apologize for looking all over my screens, but I've got like five of them open. It's basically what Kirby said earlier, and I sent to you in that a podcaster on an Ole Miss one straight up said the ultimate status symbol in college football in this year is to have Georgia care enough to blow you out. If Georgia blows you out, that means they saw you as a threat. They didn't blow you out, you're practice. You're nothing more than practice for them so that they can get better. Kirby does it. This is what builds talent. Talented teams go from one level to the next. So Georgia didn't throw the ball. We ran it and we let Tech play their game. We let them run. They ran for
Mm-hmm.
200 yards. Kirby was okay with that, shockingly.
That's actually small for them. They usually run for about 250 or three.
Right. So, but Georgia was fine letting them run 200. Why? Because that kills clock and it means you get out of there not getting hurt.
Oh yeah.
Let them play their game because you know you can go out and shut them down. Um, Defense did okay. The run game was definitely run stop is need a lot of work. Chaz, once again, you're killing me, man. You are looking rough out there.
I
He
swear
got
he's out of
beat.
position.
He is. I actually talked to another Georgia fan who said that he needs to be in an H back type of role at
Yeah,
best,
yeah,
or he
yeah.
needs to be on the
Offense, I
bench.
think would be great. I mean, there's places on defense that I could put him and he'd do okay. But when you said H back, I actually think he could thrive there.
He could, but yeah, he's in the wrong position. He not even a middle linebacker. He's too small to be a defensive tackle space eater because that's what he would be fine at. But
Yeah.
but he needs to be on offense. He needs to be their special teamer or play that Kyle Jakuzik, whatever his name is that was with the 49ers.
Hmm.
Needs to be in that kind of a role. Really need to work on our stoppage on that one. The runs to the left and right are killing us because we can't get containment. But that being said, the secondary played a lights out game, 158 yards, and most of that came on one play that tricked everybody up. We just fell into it. So again, Kirby wasn't running anything special. He basically let Georgia say play man to man. You beat the man across from you and don't do anything stupid. I will say watching the game, and I mean, I understand what people say, but watching this, it did feel like Georgia was playing against Georgia Tech and the ACC officials. I've not
Okay,
mentioned that much this
I'll give
year
you that. No,
because there were
normally
guys
I'll
that
jump on one side or the other, but yeah, I agree.
they were being choked up here by the Tech players, basically, or wrapped around. Nothing got called. This is not 50 Shades of Georgia Tech. This is football. Okay, like we don't need that. So uh, it was just a rough game and a couple of untimely fumbles and or turnovers that led to points. The score was close, but when you really look at it deep down, Georgia's numbers were solid, and Georgia knew they could win the game with no problem. You take away those easy touchdowns they had,
Yeah,
that pass that got them in position. Canes King should not have scored those two rushing touchdowns that he did get. That was ridiculous that they let those. And
but
those,
that's a Haynes King thing. Is that
it's Haynes King. He does
it's
good.
either it's either Haynes King or it's Jamal Haynes that even in the ugliest Tech games, they end up with at least two rushing touchdowns between the two of them. It seems to
Mhm.
just always balance that way. So if you say that's their two biggest scores, then you're like, well, that's kind of Tech football.
It's Tech football. Georgia should contain better on both of those and make them kick two more field goals. So in reality, this game was not as close as the score indicated. Yes, they ran the ball good and they threw it okay. Georgia didn't throw it good because Carson wasn't needed to. Bobo was not was not putting a scheme out there that let Beck cook. He didn't need him to. But that being said, Carson Beck made an NFL throw to Dylan Bell.
Oh
That
yeah,
should have
yeah.
counted for a catch. That would have put us over 200 yards passing. It should have counted. I mean,
But
yeah,
see,
he did that, but he caught it, had
yeah.
possession, it dribbled, and he went to the ground with possession. I still think that was a catch, and that was beautiful on the money throw that you can't that you Peyton Peyton and Drew Brees and Brady made those throws on a daily basis. Carson made that throw.
What about Mahomes?
Mahomes makes that, but I will say Mahomes would have done it sideways or thrown it behind the back.
I was thinking behind his head, but yeah,
Behind his head, not looking, he'd have made that throw
maybe
side.
through his ears, like through one ear, out the other ear, into the receiver, like
Slingshot,
somehow, like the
the
same way
compression
Santa
tube.
goes in a chimney or something. He just like shrinks down and comes back out. And,
Yes. Yeah, the Santa Claus, yes.
yeah, yeah. Happy
It's
holiday
okay.
stuff.
It's okay. I lived through the 60s. Yeah, that kind of a thing.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
But
but
all
other
right,
than that, it was fun.
I say I got a devil's advocate. Some of those there. I got to find it with a
Okay.
better term. I've never liked that term. Devil's advocate for the Tech fans out there. I'm going to defend you a little bit. I'm going to defend you a lot more on Up with the White and Gold on Thursday. Um, what if you got so vanilla that you actually let them stay in it a little bit, get a little bit of garbage scores, kind of the way the Falcons Matt Ryan tenure went. Matt Ryan put up some great yards, most of it in garbage time. It didn't count for anything.
Yeah.
Or as far as the referee who didn't think that was a catch, ACC referees are so bad that maybe they reached out and grabbed an SEC ref instead because he didn't call it either. So it could be either one of those. But no, I do think I do agree. It's Georgia had this game in hand. I feel like in being so basic, so vanilla as you're saying, that they got a little too cute. And it's good that you didn't need, Carson Beck to throw for 3 million yards because at some point you're going to, might be this week, might
Hmm.
be might be in the final against Michigan. We can only hope. But I always say that good teams can find a way to win. Great teams find multiple ways to win. And this was another different way that UGA showed that they can win. And that just makes
Hmm.
it that much more dangerous that they're like, no matter what game you play, we can let you play your game almost 80%.
Yeah.
They didn't let Tech go 100, but they let
No.
Tech go 80, 85.
Yeah.
And then
They
they said,
they
okay, well, that's cute, but watch this. You're
yeah.
still going to win.
Exactly. They took Tech's game plan and said, by all means,
Mhm.
please run the ball.
Yeah,
We're going to let you run it. We're going to let you get 3 yards
sure.
before we hit you. Why? The clock's going to run.
Mhm.
You're going to take clock off, and then we're going to go, okay, hand it off to Kendall Milton, who had yet another great game
Oh, yeah.
and just ran down the field for another 150. So that being said, Georgia proved that it can win a game up the middle, making the yardage where they need to. They proved they could do it, and Kirby was forcing his guys, just beat the man across from you,
Hmm.
no scheme, go out there and be better than the other man. They did it for 4 quarters. Yes, it was close, but now Georgia knows we can beat anybody across from us. Now the coaches can scheme us to do even better. That's why I say this next game before we get to it, look out. That this is going to be one heck of a game when they play Bama because the Bama team we've seen all year is a different beast, and I didn't want to
Oh,
play
yeah.
them. They're not the level they were. but I've been nervous. But this one, I'll be nervous because of the history. Until I
This
see
is
what Georgia's offense does in defense,
this Bama team is not week 1 Bama. They're not week 4 Bama. They're not week 7 Bama. They're not even last week Bama. This just continues to, it's some kind of crazy sci-fi movie or something where they just keep morphing and evolving into a completely different form. It seems like every week, and every week they get scarier. Now, I'm not trying to scare you, Georgia fans, because I know none of you are scared of Bama at all, and that's probably correct. But
you're nervous of Saban. You're not scared of the players that Bama has on this roster because this
yeah,
this is very
I
much
would
like a
say that.
Georgia team. This was actually like a Georgia team was not in 2019. I'd say more of the 2017
Okay.
2017 team
Okay. Yeah.
where you've got a bunch of guys who you know their name, but they're not they might be 5 stars. Let's be honest, they still recruit those, but there's not the single superstar on that roster. There might be some
No.
individuals that turn out to have a great career. Georgia did have some superstar players in the running backs that we had Chubb and
Hmm.
Michelle.
Sure.
We didn't have a wide receiver that was that great. We had Jake Fromm, and we see how his career progressed after that season in the toilet. Um,
No,
by the time he,
I think he's
side
on a.
note,
I think he's on a practice squad somewhere.
I think he got cut again. I'll be
Tennessee.
honest with you, as a Georgia
Let's.
fan, Jake Fromm, we love you. But by the time he was a junior, we were like, please leave. Like I know we don't have you the right coordinators, but like you gotta go. Play somebody else.
See. I got a
Uh,
producer working on that. Where is Jake Fromm at right
he was at
now?
Buffalo multiple times.
I thought it was Tennessee, but Will Levis was third string before he got promoted, so I think it's
Yeah.
practice squad or something. Come on, nope. William Jacob Fromm. Oh, look at that. You guys have the same name.
Washington. He's the Commanders.
Oh, there you go. See, I knew he see right around Tennessee, Washington. It's right the same area. It's the
Yeah,
same
so
thing.
that's right because he got a chance to play.
Yeah,
Yeah, so yeah,
because
he's gotten a chance. He's good. Don't get me wrong.
he could be a quality high end backup. And given the
At
right
most.
situation, he could go on a Josh Dobbs run like we see Josh Dobbs playing right now tonight. He could have a
Yeah.
magical run, but he's I hate to keep using this guy's name because he's a really good, but he could be a Trent Dilfer. He might be that random missing little cog in the wheel that gets you all the way there or even possibly wins that big game, but he's not going to
He'll
do it consistently.
no, he's if he had some Fitz magic to his game, I'd go
Yeah.
that route. I don't think, I
Oh
know we
yeah.
got sidetracked on Fromm, but Fromm was not that guy. Even at Georgia, he was surrounded by amazing talent, and when that
Yeah.
left, he couldn't elevate what was there. Stetson elevated, Beck's elevating. There's NFL level quarterbacks that Georgia
And
has.
the
Fromm was
the other
never it.
the other kid coming in, Ravioli, him, that guy.
Yeah, Dylan Raiola. Dylan Raiola
That's
is
it.
a
Yeah.
Pat Mahomes light. He makes throws like that. Can't wait to see what he does. He does wear
We'll see.
15 like Mahomes. That is not the reason he wears number 15. He did that because one of the receivers coming in wants to wear number 1, and he said, "By all means, you take the number. I'll wear 15." After
He
Beck
don't
leaves,
he don't care about numbers.
he don't. All he cares about
Well,
is winning
well, not
titles.
the number on his jersey. He cares about the name on the front, and he cares about
Yes,
how many trophies he's holding.
yeah, and I think Raiola can leave with as if he develops the way he should, and Bobo can develop. We're seeing that now. Raiola should leave with at least in the conversation of a Heisman and one of the best quarterbacks to come through the state, up there with Stafford.
That's pretty high praise. So,
And
who
yeah,
does who
so
does he play for now?
he played for Buford, who got beat last week. They only got like 150 yards, but that was not
Oh, that's
him.
right. Yeah, yeah,
Buford's a run first team. They
yeah.
changed their offense for him. He's still changing an entire offense, learning a whole new system. 30 touchdowns to like 1 pick the entire year, 31 touchdowns to 1 pick. You can't go wrong with that. The guy is a first round talent coming out of high school. Someone would take that
Oh, yeah.
chance. Someone said he think of him as Ben a baby Ben Roethlisberger type. He's
Okay.
going to run to get some yardage. He's going to thicken up. He's already 6'3", 230.
Gee, I was
And
about to
as
say,
he
is he that big? Because Big Ben is as big as a bear. So,
Raiola doesn't, but Raiola, the difference is Raiola is muscular build, whereas Ben was just this. Raiola's still skinny, but he's got the look, and he's not rated as high as some people would you'd like to see him. But it's
I
that,
think it's his style and the fact that he shares a state with that guy in Carrollton that I'll keep his name off this show for
that
now
yeah,
because
he is. That's 2 years away for him.
mm-hmm.
But I will say the one reason why is when you don't go to all the camps or you make a couple of these recruiting analysts upset with you because you don't want to talk to them as much as they want to, they
Don't
have
blame him.
proven that they will drop you down the board. And as a
He's like,
player,
whatever.
like it's the same thing if he was committed to anywhere else, they drop
Oh
him
yeah.
down the board because
Oh
it's
yeah.
not exciting.
If he was
To
going
he'll,
to if he was going to Penn State or Notre Dame or Ohio State or even Texas, oh, his name would be in everybody's lips. But
yeah,
he
because it's
decided that
Georgia.
he's going to stay home and go to Georgia. Oh, that's where Daddy went. He's not going for the big money. He's not going for the
Well,
big deal. I'm
Dad
like,
went
well, who
to
cares?
Nebraska. I think, yeah, Dad went to
Did he?
Nebraska. Yeah, Dad went to Nebraska. Raula's from Texas, Arizona.
Oh, okay.
His dad is best friends with Stafford, so Stafford is his godfather
Hmm.
because Dominic Raiola was the center for
That's
Stafford for
right.
most of
That's
his
yeah.
years, and they've been friends. And honestly, if we didn't hire Bobo, we don't get Raiola. Monken just rubbed him wrong. Monken's very
That's
abrasive
understandable.
personality.
It's
Bobo
understandable.
is that good guy, and he's just as good as a coordinator. I
I
feel
mean,
he's just as good as Monken. So
I mean, I'm a big fan of the Harbaughs and the Grudens, and they're the same way. They're kind of abrasive. Like they either take to
mhm,
you or they run you out of the building. That's just what they do.
fair. That is what they do.
I would
But anyway,
say
enough
of
about
yeah,
recruiting.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
We got sidetracked, but you want to go ahead and jump to
But
the
before that, I want to say shout out Peyton
yeah,
Woodring for kicking the 39-yarder at Bobby Dodd. Bobby Dodd is not
yes.
a bad stadium. I enjoy that stadium. I've been to that stadium for everything from
I've
graduations to
yelled as
football
I drove
games.
by. A few
It's a
things I
fun
can't say
stadium.
on here.
I tell people that you should at least go see one event there because it's nice. It's kind of Coliseum like where it just wraps all the way around. It funnels down into it's really nice. They definitely could update the walking paths and the facilities, but hey, they're trying. But as far as like I said, it's a good facility. Woodring is going to see a lot more of those kind of facilities than he is. I don't know, Georgia. Although Georgia, I wouldn't say it's state of the art, but as far as being, like a spaceship, it's definitely not that. It's more on the higher end. I'm
Yeah.
not saying Georgia Tech's on the lower end, but it's good to get a kick in an environment like that because you're not sure where you're going to play in the next couple of weeks, and you may have to play in some interesting places.
Yeah, I got you. And also for the highlight reels, if you haven't seen it, people, Woodring kicked one lined up with the field goal on the side, like literally looking at the field goal like it's like this, and kicked it between them
Hmm.
like that. So,
Well,
uh,
there is a chance that they're uneven at Bobby Dodd, so
fair enough. But he
I
he
mean
had some
they're
wiggle that went like
probably
that.
they could be
Those engineers, I thought they could do better.
they're too busy, curing diseases and making new Halo games that they haven't got to the goalpost yet.
That or they're getting the MR and the MRS degrees.
Yeah, pretty much.
Fair enough.
But I think I defended both sides a little bit there. I want to make sure to do that. I still forward all the hate mail to Jake, so it's fine.
Yeah, I read them all the time.
Yeah. Good thing is he doesn't have to pretend they're not for him. He knows they're all for me. But unless there's pictures on them, I'm not going to read them. So.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of big games coming up this weekend, and we're going to save that one for last
Sure.
because that one I'm sure people will want to hear what we're going to say on that because we're going to break it down fairly as we always do. Because that's a big game. That's everybody says all the time. Why can't Georgia play Bama? Why can't Georgia play Bama? Well, you
Yeah.
do. It just happens to be for the SEC every time.
Sure. By the way, did I pick Kentucky to win that last game?
I don't remember. Did you? I didn't write down any of the picks.
I forgot because I know we
I
never
know I
wrote it,
did
but
pretty good in my picks because
right.
most of my
You
picks were the
did
same
good.
ones I did in my pick 'em. I think you did pretty. I think we all did pretty
I
good.
think I did pick them to beat Louisville though. I just had a
I
feeling that
think
they
you
were going to pull
did.
that off.
I feel like you did. I think I took
Or
Louisville.
I said that, or I said there's a good chance they'll do it, but I'll take Louisville because I
Yeah,
just don't know. But so anyway, I at least get half a point because I said I think they really could do it, but I'm gonna have to go the other way. Next year, I'll have to keep score and get a trophy for the pick'ems.
I'll go back and look at it at some point, which I actually will. It sounds like something I won't do, but I'll go back and look at it and try to write them down and see how we did. And I don't know, maybe we'll say something on the next show about it.
All right.
But you'll have to remind me because I'll forget by the time we end this show.
Yeah, no worries.
But let's start because this Friday starts the conference championships basically, and there are some wicked matchups,
There are some fun games coming up. I
and
mean,
they
some huge
and then there are
implications.
some that I don't know if I'd wake up early enough to watch them, and some of them I'm talking about are like 8 and 9 o'clock games
Mm-hmm.
in the evening. But let's start Friday. I think we just got a handful of minutes left anyway.
Yep.
New Mexico State versus Liberty. Liberty is the 25th ranked squad. This is the Conference USA Championship. It is the future home. Do I have it anywhere? I don't have it up here. The future home as of next season of the KSU Owls. So fun. I will get to see these teams up close and personal.
Yeah, I'm looking at the numbers now. There is a big chance that the game is going to be won by Liberty, and I see why. They do have a really good team.
They got really good
Um,
insurance.
really good insurance. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to call for the upset on this one. I'm going to go with the New Mexico State after what they did to Auburn. Liberty's played some good teams, but Liberty has not done that all season long. So give me New Mexico State. Just actually, Liberty did beat New Mexico State 33-17, so Mexico State's looking for revenge.
The last couple of weeks, the run that New Mexico State's been on, I'm absolutely rolling with them. I don't care who they were playing this week outside of, the top four. I was probably going to pick them. So New Mexico State by far. I think during the broadcast last week, I said I'm a little familiar with them because I think they used to be in the Sun Belt for a year or two with Georgia State, and they're a squad that they fight hard. It doesn't matter what the score is or what their record is. They fight hard. They continue to fight hard. Doesn't matter who's in charge over there. New Mexico State by far. The Pac-12 that is probably going to dissolve shortly after this game. Number 6 Oregon against number 4 Washington. 8:00, 8 ABC game. Oregon's a 9.5-point favorite for those scoring at home. 7:00 CBS Sports Network. Liberty by 10 on the first game. Who you got? Oregon or Washington?
I'll take Oregon. I'll go ahead and go with who they're picking to win this one because Oregon's defense is that good. Bo Nix is playing good. I think Penix has fallen. He's not fallen off, but I haven't seen his name come across as much. And Washington struggled to beat Washington State. They struggled to beat Oregon State. They struggled to beat Utah. They're coming down to the wire, not doing as good. But yet Oregon is going down the road, just mauling people. And this is also a revenge game for them. They win, beat Washington. They'll at least go up to number 5. There's a good chance they make this win would get them in a playoff. I think, depending on how the rest of it shakes out.
So the Fighting Dan Lannings.
Yes. Got to go for the former Georgia coach, man.
The Fighting Dan Lannings, I think, are going to lose. And they're going to lose, not because of Penix. They're going to lose because Dylan Johnson, the running back, is going to go for over 150. I would say like 168, 170. He's going to have 2 scores. His running game is just going to take over the game. It's going to make Penix look like he's back in the top of the quarterbacks, but it's all going to be because Dylan Johnson just runs his caboose off. And I think Washington is going to win possibly the last Pac-12 game of all time.
Yeah, I think that's very fair assessment. We'll see how that one rolls.
It's very sad too. I'm going to miss Pac-12.
Mm-hmm.
Just about this much. Number 3, Michigan is going to face number 17, Iowa, 8:00 on Fox. Michigan is, man, they're really giving them benefit of the doubt here. A 23-point favorite.
Yeah.
Jim Harbaugh returns.
Jim Harbaugh returns. It's Michigan. Michigan's run game is what they live and die with. I'll give credit to Iowa that they love these close games. If the game goes to a under 20-point kind of game, I think Iowa can take that game if their defense can hold out but I think Michigan's going to win this game ultimately. I just don't see them. I don't see it happening any other way. It's just, like I said, it has to be one of those where Michigan just can't do it, and that defensive Iowa just happens to have that hot game and gets just enough for a turnover for a pick 6 or something like that.
Yeah,
for them to win.
I'd love to give Iowa the benefit of the doubt, and because I mean they're 10-2. They made it to this game, and that's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, they're going to be looking at that, I don't know, late December bowl out in California or something like that.
Yeah, but this game could be that one that it's the big upset that no one expects to happen. That could be that kind of game. If a miracle occurs. I'm just going to, like I said, if a miracle, I'm not saying it's going to happen.
There's a couple more games I would give that award to that are coming up that could be that big upset, but definitely taking Michigan for a lot of different reasons.
Mm-hmm.
You know a lot of them. Some of you may know a lot of them, but I just think they're probably one of the top 2. I would say Georgia and Michigan are the top 2 teams in the country. I would actually. It sucks that Ohio State has no way to get back in the top 4, but more than likely your top 4 is going to be Georgia, Michigan number 2. I'm not sure number 3.
I got them. I had them pulled up here a second ago.
It was 3 now.
So it's Georgia, Michigan a second ago.
It was 3 now.
So it's Georgia, Michigan, Washington, Florida State 4, Oregon 5, Ohio State,
Okay.
Texas, Bama.
I'm okay with those 4. It could definitely be those 4. I'll make a case for one team to sneak in a little bit later on, but not too later on. But yeah, Michigan for the win on that one on Big Fox. Big Blue on Big Fox. Number 20 Oklahoma State versus number 7 Texas. Texas is back. They're 11-1. It's hard to argue that. Dr. Pepper
Texas,
Big 12 championship. ABC Texas 14.5-point favorite. That is a noon kickoff because that's when Texas and Oklahoma people want to celebrate and watch that game is 11 a.m.
True. Give me Texas since we're running on time. Texas will win by at least a touchdown, but it'll be probably closer than they think, and they just stay on the outside of the playoff.
I think your pick is all right, all right, all right. Texas all the way. SMU versus number 23 Tulane. That is the American Athletic Conference, which I had forgotten existed.
SMU's moving conferences. Give me Tulane.
Same thing. Absolutely. If SMU wasn't moving, I'd say them. I think they're too distracted. I think Tulane takes that. Number 10 Louisville versus number 5 Florida State. This is for the ACC championship.
Give me Louisville.
I agree.
I think Florida State not having their quarterback, that's really going to hurt them. I think someone's going to take advantage of that. There's no way. I don't think they're going to make the playoff. That's how Oregon gets in. If I'm picking right.
And it's all Georgia Tech's fault that had they not blown that opening game against Louisville, I don't think Louisville builds up to the number 10 team in the country that's going to beat Florida State. So it's all your fault, Jackets. And then finally, and what we got, 3 minutes. Number 1 Georgia versus number 8 Alabama SEC championship in the house that Arthur built, correct?
Yep. Give me Georgia by 14. I think Georgia wins this game like a 37-23. Alabama is a good football team. I'm not knocking them. This is not the same team they were in the year, but they live and die with Milroe. He does make good throws, but if Georgia can contain the pocket, do a little bit of what Auburn did, I think they'll be fine. Georgia can stop the run, but not all game. I'll admit that right now that their run defense is not amazing. But if they can hold them to 100 to 200 yards passing, about 100 yards rushing, 150, that's enough. Georgia's offense, I think, can go off on the Alabama defense because Georgia's proven they can scheme people wide open. Teams have played Alabama tough this year, and Alabama's had wins a win, and Alabama's had to squeak some out. But I just think that Georgia just has. I think for once you can say Georgia's got more talent than Alabama, and they're just going to man up and do it. At least I hope so.
You think this is going to be a low-scoring game?
No, I think honestly, if Georgia wants to go out there, like Georgia's going to want to go put a stamp on the season.
Oh, sure.
In this kind of game,
they're going to run the score. They're going to want to.
They're going to want to, but Kirby's going to want to be restrained with it because he knows that he still has to face a Michigan or a Washington, Florida State, Oregon. Kirby's going to do what he needs to go get that title. I think Georgia, the goal would be to, if you can hit 40, you're winning. If you can't hit 30, or if you can't hit 20 to 25, you're in trouble. Kind of a situation. I just don't think Alabama can hang for 4 quarters completely. Like Georgia just has too much talent on their team, and Kirby knows how to scheme. Bobo is in his bag. Beck's a better quarterback than Stetson was. I kept getting his name backwards in my head, but something screams that Georgia can go off. We're going to be healthy. We're going to have Bowers. We're going to have McConkey. We're going to have Ratledge. We're going to have everyone back. They're ready to go. They set out that last game to be healthy. Give me the Dogs all day.
All right. I got to make this case in like 45 seconds. So the final 4 are going to be Michigan. It's going to be Washington. It's going to be Michigan, Georgia, Washington, Alabama. Alabama wins this week. We get a rematch. We won't get a rematch. Actually, we'll get Michigan, Bama. We'll get that. But somehow Bama finds a way to keep this low scoring. This thing is going to be, 24-20, something like that. It's going to be really, really low scoring. Hate me all you want. I think Bama's been wanting this game for a long time. Bama's going to knock the Dogs off and give me a go Dogs on the way out, Jake.
Nice job. 15 seconds left. Go Dogs. Everyone have a great weekend. I'll see you next week, hopefully cheering.